And finally our food is ready. It smells so good and I can't wait to eat it. I believe Korin is as good chef as he is a coach. Question of the century is this. How to have a six-pack?
I technically have the freedom to eat what I want. So anything when it comes to the plant-based diet, I eat whatever. Whole food, plant-based, processed, sometimes junk food.
Hi guys, my name is Aistis and welcome to my vlog. And today I have a very special guest at my vlog, and I'm a guest at his house. I have here besides me my friend Korin Sutton, and Korin is a vegan bodybuilder, and these gains are really plant-based. Man, wow, that's crazy. We will know everything how he got these gains, and Korin will show me how to do a proper training, how to cook nice foods, and we will have a podcast where Korin will answer me a lot of questions that I have about gains, I have a lot of questions about everything actually, so
all right, no
we'll
doubt.
do it.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's get to the action. Let's get some gains. That was tough.
Yeah,
man.
Good workout.
You have
bro.
only these 35s, and I know for these plant-based gains, but for these still need a little bit smaller. Yeah, that was tough, guys. If you want some good advices of how to gain muscle, how to gain plant-based muscle, or just muscle in general, I guess, Korin works with all kind of diet people.
Yeah, I work online, so you can find me on my social media, Korin Sutton. He'll probably pop it up somewhere on the screen.
Yeah, and in the description we will put a link so you can just push directly and go to his website, find everything you need, home program, diet.
Yep, everything.
And we will move on food just in a minute, so we'll show how nice and beautiful plant-based food you can get after the training.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go.
Let's get our post-workout meal.
Thank you.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
Let's go to eat. We are back in the house, in the kitchen. Korin now is the chef. He was my coach. Now he'll be my chef. What do I have cooking, Korin, today?
So what we're going to do is make a vegan egg omelet. So we're going to do something like that.
What are we going to use?
We're going to use some tofurkey sausages, just egg, bell peppers, kale, onions, and mushrooms.
Okay. Just that. I never tried it yet.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I usually make it with tofu, but somehow didn't get a chance to get it. Oh yeah, I'm really excited to see it. Alright, show me what can we eat after the workout. Is this meal like you consider it like after workout, before workout? Or?
Yeah, I mean it's a great alternative because this is an American traditional dish.
Okay.
But it's very high in protein. It's vegan, and you're getting tons of vegetables, vitamins, and minerals as well.
Fantastic. Let's get I already feel my saliva. Let's get to eat something. What is that?
It's just a vegetable wash.
Okay.
To clean the vegetable.
Okay. So you don't use just the water?
No, just I use a vegetable wash because
I've seen it in the shop, but in Lithuania we don't have such things, so was never like even having this idea.
Yeah, you kind of want to use it, especially during these times, because with the whole coronavirus that's going on. Fresh produce, people could sneeze on it, people are grabbing, touching the produce, so you kind of want to wash your vegetables these days just because you don't want to get any type of infection. Even though there's been zero studies, or not studies but reports of people getting coronavirus on the foods, but it's just good practice and protective measures.
What oil do you use?
Olive oil. Well, we got kale, onions, garlic, bell peppers, and tofurkey all in there. Filled with tons of nutrients, very healthy for you, high in protein, especially when it comes to the tofurkey sausage. You're getting about 30 grams of protein per link. So we chopped up about 2 of those links. So you're looking at 60 grams of protein just in here, and probably a little bit more because the kale, the mushrooms, the garlic does have protein in it as well. So probably looking somewhere near maybe 65 to 70 grams of protein right here.
Is it true that a person's body can get inside absorb more than 30 grams of protein at one serving?
It depends on the individual because it all depends on the person's lifestyle and their body type. So in physical fitness, there's nothing one set in stone. It all depends on each individual, because if you're looking at a bodybuilder who's extremely large and they have a lot of muscle tissue, and let's say they weigh about 225 pounds, for them to do it 30 grams per meal, imagine how many meals that person would have to eat just to get to 200 or more grams of protein if he's a bodybuilder. You know what I'm saying? So it's always different. There's a lot of things that's outside that people put just because the average person don't really work out as extreme as athletes. So when you see a lot of these things out there, it's mostly focused on the average individual, someone who's more sedentary and they work out more recreationally, not actual athletes. Real athletes work out every day. We push our bodies to the limit, so we need the fuel and the nutrients so we can keep pushing. Just eat the right foods. If you want to try to lose weight, be in the caloric deficit. If you're trying to gain weight, be in the caloric surplus. When you think things more simple, then you'll start seeing results. But then once you start, if you have a specific goal, like bodybuilding, then you can start looking at those things. You know what I mean?
Finally, our food is ready. It smells so good and I can't wait to eat it. I believe Korin is as good chef as he is a coach. It looks amazing and we are going to eat. No more talking. Let's go to eat, Korin. It's really good, guys. Tofurkey sausage is very tasty. And now I'm going to try vegan omelette. How is it called? Just egg, yeah?
Just egg, yeah.
I've seen it on internet, I've seen it in the shop, but never tried it yet. Looks like egg, totally look. Let's taste it. Tastes almost the same as egg. Thank you, Korin. Korin, so tell me, what do you eat? How does your meal plan look like? Where people should pay attention if they want to quit meat and still get gains and still be active? Like, what's your breakfast? What's your like dinner? What's your...
Well, like a sample of what I eat is like usually I start my morning off with like a smoothie, and then after that smoothie I'll have like maybe if we kind of think about it, something similar of what you saw already with the the egg omelet, the vegan egg, with the bell peppers and all that stuff with some tofurkey sausages. And then for dinner I might have like a big salad, like a big kale salad with maybe some TVP or something. I mean, my diet is is different because what I usually do is I count macros. When you count macros, count calories, and I use the application called MyFitnessPal, I technically have the freedom to eat what I want. So anything when it comes to the plant-based diet, I eat whatever. Whole food, plant-based, processed, sometimes junk food. Mostly plant-based majority of the time, but it's more of the portion control of what I'm consuming. Yeah, so I think that's the best answer because it's really hard for me to think of like what do I eat. It's just like I can tell you breakfast is usually a smoothie or oatmeal or tofu scramble. It's one of those three. But anything else, it's like it varies. Because I count macros a lot, and when it comes to that, it's more general. Like it's a variety of different types of foods. Every day I'm eating something different. But when it comes to like the average individual, I would say you want to look for like a protein source, a carb source, and a fat source when you're building your plate. So when it comes to the plant-based foods, you're looking at like protein, tofu, tempeh, seitan. These are three big, like high protein meals,
what
right?
About beans or chickpeas or like
I was going to get into
lentils?
that. So and then for your carbohydrate source, this is where you have your beans, your lentils, grains, legumes, which is the same thing as beans. This is where you're going to get most of your grains, and then your fat sources like your nuts and seeds. So and also with the carbs, which I forgot to say, like your fruits and vegetables as well. So when you're building your plate of food, just make sure you have some type of source of those type of foods in your plate, and you should be good. It's like a balanced meal.
Okay. So, but is it possible, like for example, I eat beans, lentils, chickpeas, and I was always considering it at my protein, stream.
Yeah.
Was I right or?
Well, it depends on the individual. Like I said, good protein sources would be seitan, tempeh, and tofu. All right, these are your top things. If you want to make any type of equivalence to protein, and I say these three just because I talk like if I'm talking to someone who eats meat. Because when you use beans for protein, beans is not equivalent to a piece of steak. It's just not, because steak doesn't have carbohydrates.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So like beans and legumes, it has protein, but also has a lot of carbs. Okay. Now for someone like yourself, you can do a lot of beans and get most of your protein from that because you're a leaner guy, right? But for someone who's trying to lose weight, which is the majority of the world, right? If they did a large consumption of that, it probably won't be the best because they're consuming, it's a higher caloric food versus like something that's like not so high. Like tofu, tempeh, and seitan. So these are they're higher in protein, but not as caloric as beans. Yeah. So this, because again, when we talk about in the cooking class, when I was cooking, if you want to lose weight, you have to be in caloric deficit. If you want to try to gain weight, you need to be in caloric surplus. Like I can't talk simple because I am a nutritionist and I deal with people problems. So I know what people want exactly. So it's like that. Like, can you use beans for protein? Yeah, of course. But again, it's high in carbs. Can you use oatmeal for protein? Yeah. I mean, there's protein in that. There's protein in tons of plant-based foods. But what I help people do is really try to balance that plate so they get a variety of different types of meals while they're getting a lot of nutrients, also hitting their total macronutrients goals, which is like the protein, carbs, and fat. Yeah.
Okay. Right, I paid more attention because now my protein was like beans, chickpeas, lentils. It's like what I was considering always like a protein. I eat tofu like once or twice a week. I don't eat seitan because I try to avoid gluten. I mean, I eat sometimes, but if I can avoid it, I avoid it. And like beans, and I love beans. So
nothing wrong with it.
Okay.
But like I said, like someone like yourself, you could do more. You could do higher carbohydrates, and you could add more beans into your diet. But let's say it's someone who loses weight, because when I speak, I think about who's listening, and I don't want to come off and just say like everything has protein, just eat whatever, because I've seen people who eat whatever and got fat. And then what happens is that when you try to push this message of being on a plant-based diet, it puts a negative effect. Now, if we're comparing apples and oranges and we're saying like what's better, like a plant-based diet or meat consumption, I mean, I'm going to personally say plant-based is because you can get more nutrients from the diet. You can get a lot more vitamins, a lot more minerals. But if you're trying to compare the two, and especially when it comes to fat loss, and this is why people try to pick different diets, like keto. Why keto is so famous? Keto is one of the most famous diets in America because you can eat a shitload of meat and then lose a lot of fat. You know what I'm saying? But
how healthy is that? The question.
Long term, from what I've learned, it's not good. But when you look at a plant-based diet, you have to be careful of how much calories that person is consuming, and because there is and same thing with keto. Like, you can't just eat meat and just think that you're going to lose weight. Like, it doesn't just work that way. Like, there is an amount of food that you need to consume as well. There is portion control in that as well, but it's more popular just because it's easier to relate versus like a plant-based diet. So like when I talk about plant-based diets, I like to be very specific of what I say and say like, if you want to compare the two, like these three are the top, then after that you want to start building your plate more appropriately so you can get to your fitness goals. And I personally don't even like talking about what I eat, because what I eat isn't going to get someone the gains that for someone else. That's why I'm kind of like stuttering about it, because it's like people take what I eat and then they try to copy me, and then they get fat and they're like, well, I got fat and this guy is getting big. And it's like, that's why I don't like talking about it.
It's different people. I got the point. Okay, Korin, I've seen a lot of different supplements in your kitchen, and tell me about supplements. Like, what supplements does a person should use if he switches to plant-based?
Don't need any supplements, right?
Any? B12? You need a B12?
I guess I could say like, you need B12. Like, again, you technically don't need supplements, but if you're going to do anything, I would say B12 supplement. And it's not even, and I don't like even answering the question like that, because it's not that if you go vegan or plant-based, people who eat meat has B12 deficiencies as well, just as much as vegans. So I don't even like saying that. Let's say like, do you need to take supplements? No, you don't. If you're going plant-based, I would say do a B12 vitamin, just in case if you're not getting it from the foods. So because there is foods that has B12 in it. Like there's You have like fortified milks. A lot of milks are fortified with B vitamins in it. You have nutritional yeast, which is also a fortified food that has tons of B12 in it. I don't take B12, particularly B12 supplements. You know, I just get it from the foods, and that's it. You know, so but for people who don't track their nutrients, because like I said, like I count my macros, I measure my nutrients, and this is something that I teach my students to do as well. So from my little bubble, like the people who track and you make sure you're getting all your nutrients and stuff, I don't think it's required. But if you're not tracking, then you probably want to. If you're just like going to like vegan restaurants and just eating and kind of nibbling and snacking off stuff and not really keeping track of nothing, then yeah, I would say yeah, you want to probably take a B12 supplement just in case.
Oh yeah. And what supplements do you use as a fitness coach, as a more like a bodybuilder, like, because I've seen a lot in your kitchen, so it really attracted my attention. Like,
yeah, so with the supplements, I mostly take a lot. That's right behind me. It's called Clean Machine.
Okay.
So you know, we have our protein powder, which is non-isolated. We use a superfood called lentine. And one of the best things about this lentine, it's a superfood that got discovered a couple years back. We're the first one in production to start using it, but it's actually duckweed that grows off of the surface of lakes. And with this weed, it has tons of micronutrients in it, and it has about...
So it's like seaweed, something? No?
No, it's actually, it's like weed like weed that grows off of grass, but it grows on the surface of the lakes, and ducks eat it. So when it comes to this, you get like you get about 7 grams of your dietary fiber. You get tons of micronutrients like vitamin A, vitamin C. You get a lot of your B vitamins, and 40% of your diet of omega-3, 6, and 9. So, and it's non-isolated, so there's really minimum processing when it comes to the protein powder. And then we have like ahi flower oil to get your omega-3, 6, and 9s. Also your BCAAs, which is branched chain amino acids. And what this does, it helps with recovery when it comes to building muscle. So I use that. And then Cell Block 80, which is a all natural testosterone booster. But what this does, it actually helps you utilize your own natural testosterone production, which is your free testosterone. So the more free testosterone your body actually produces, then the more your body utilizes it, so you can get better results. So that's something that I use.
Okay. I still have plant-based protein at home, but when I'll finish, I'll definitely try this green machine.
Yeah, check it out.
I was checking it yesterday on your website, and I thought, okay, this is my next choice, just to try.
Yeah, it's pretty good because we use everything like organic and non-GMO ingredients, and there's no fillers, no chemicals, no artificial flavors. So, and that's with all our products since the day we opened.
Okay, so now the question, the most popular question, probably the question of the century, is like, how to have a six-pack?
Well, to get a six-pack is built in the kitchen. So again, referring back to previous questions, it kind of goes down to the same. So 80% plays in diet. And then again, you have to be in caloric deficit. So because the thing is that everyone has a six-pack, everyone has abs, everyone in the world has a six-pack, okay? It's just that if you can't see it, because you got fat covering the abs, right? Because the six-pack, the abs, the abdominal wall is just muscles. That's all it is, it's the muscles. So and people have fat covering that. So if you want more tone, more definition, then you have to be in a caloric deficit so you can burn all that body fat so you can get a six-pack. So the leaner, the harder you want that six-pack to look and pop, then the harder and stricter you have to be on your diet. It's pretty much, that's how it is.
So technically, if you want to have six-pack all the time, you have to be starving.
Not starving, but you have to be pretty strict.
Kind of starving.
Well, I mean, I don't know what your definition of starving is, but like for me, it's like you have to be in a caloric deficit and the diet has to be something sustainable that you can do your normal day activities. Like if you're starving, like when you tell me starving means like you're lethargic, lack of energy, you don't want to do shit, you know, you can't even perform your daily activities, you know, you just want to sleep all the time. That's starving, because that, like, you could get a six-pack that way, but like what about your normal days? Like you're not getting nothing done.
Be laying on the couch with a six-pack.
Yeah, but like you could be in a caloric deficit and not starve and still be able to have the energy to do what you want. And this is where, you know, where when I'm putting someone in a caloric deficit, I make sure that they're on, first of all, on a whole food plant-based diet, because they're going to get more volume. And with that type of lifestyle and that type of diet, there's a lot of fiber. So this is one of the key elements in a caloric deficit, because the more fiber you actually have in your diet, first, it's good for the microbiome and your digestive system, but at the same time, it keeps you full longer, because it slows down the digestion. All right, so this is something that you want to do, because all the foods that you're consuming, especially on a whole food plant-based diet, is complex carbs, majority of it. So it's going to slow down the digestion, so you have more sustained energy throughout the day.
And one more question about the supplements. What's the most important thing where you have to pay attention when you're choosing ones? Like where people usually don't look, or like what you notice through your career where you have to pay attention when you're choosing supplement?
When it comes to supplementations, some of the things you want to look at is the ingredients. You want to make sure that, you know, there's no fillers, no chemicals, no artificial flavors. You kind of want to stay away from things like that, and move more towards natural ingredients, especially organic ingredients. That's I would say that's the big plus. You want to make sure all the ingredients, or majority of it, is coming from non-GMO organic sources. If not, you're getting very, very, very low quality ingredients, a lot lower than you think or may think, because being in the supplement industry as an athlete, and going to a lot of expos and talking to a lot of people who make supplements, I mean, you realize that there's a lot of low quality supplements out there. But these businesses are multi-billion-dollar businesses. They make a lot of money, and they spend a lot of money on ads. So from the front end, it looks expensive. It looks good. They got the girls. They got the bodybuilders who's gigantic and ripped, like bigger than me.
Money can buy everything.
Yeah, like bigger than me, man. Like these guys are freaking huge, right? So they get the biggest, baddest people, the hottest girls. And they all would tell you they take it and all this stuff, the best photography, the best videos, all that stuff, man. And but then when you get the actual product, it's garbage if you read the ingredients. It's not even organic, it's not even non-GMO. It's just a bunch of crap that you're buying and you're putting into your body. And what's funny is that the dirty truth about some of these companies and some of these athletes who represent them is that some of them don't even take the product themselves, but they get paid and they will say that they do, you know. So, but the public don't know, and
because you won't check it,
and they won't care, because they like that athlete. They love the taste of a particular product or whatever.
Or the look of the can,
the look of the canister.
We usually choose by like how things. Oh, this looks nice.
Yeah,
that could be better. You know?
Yeah,
like,
even names of supplements could trade, and a lot of this all comes down again to marketing. You know, if you have something that says like hardcore extreme protein, I mean, what do you think that's going to be? And it's a red bottle or something. I'm just throwing words together, but like, you know, what do you think that's going to attract more? A girl or a male? Mostly males. Males who probably want to, you know, build tons of muscle, you know, and it's like, and it sounds hardcore because it's a red bottle and it says hardcore, whatever I said, hardcore building muscle protein. You know, you're going like, yeah, I want to build some hardcore muscle, you know, like that's what you're going to think as a consumer. So I think that's some of the things you want to look at is no matter what it says or how cool it looks or how crazy it looks, definitely look in the back and make sure those ingredients are coming from high quality sources. If not, you're just poisoning your body very slowly. And supplement industries are not controlled by the FDA. So
really, nobody
food,
controls them?
yeah, no, it's not regulated by the FDA. So that's something you want to pay attention to.
But you still have to write on the ingredient section. You have, I mean, if it's not regulated, so we can write whatever, or it's still
well. This is where something called proprietary blends. So a proprietary blend, the company is not required to put all the ingredients in a proprietary blend.
Really?
So, nope.
So you can. Well, so how to know then?
You can call, or just buy products that's organic and non-GMO. Like, you know, it's that simple, because it's the law.
Okay, but if we are not required to write everything, but if we are not organic, can we put organic, or this is only
no? Because to get certified organic, it has to be certified through the government. So it's like that. That's why I was saying, you know, if you need if you're going to get a product that's non-GMO and organic, because that's certified and regulated. Like you can't just have shit and then throw a label. You can't just do that. But there's certain cracks in the industry that you can do. For example, like when it comes to ingredients, like if you put in a proprietary blend, you're not required to put in all the ingredients, and you don't have to put in how much of what they're using for each ingredient that they put in the proprietary blend. So they could put like a shitload of ingredients and just say 5,000 milligrams, and you're like, okay, that's 5,000 milligrams, but how much am I getting out of that 5,000 milligrams out of all these ingredients? Yeah, like how much? Yeah, and they're not required. That's just how it is. So the best thing to do, then, you know, if you want to do homework on a product that's not non-GMO and not organic, I mean, I think it's just a waste of time. I mean, you could do it, but if you do find a product that's non-GMO and organic, then there's really no research, because it's like they already got certified with the ingredients. Like they have to show the ingredients. It's like it's a stricter pathway to get certified with those labels.
Okay, that's good to know. Korin, I know you told me you wake up pretty early. For me it's early. You said like 3 or 4 a.m. So it's like then that a lot of people is going to sleep. So why do you wake up so early, and how does your day look like, regular day? What do you do?
Well, I mean, I wake up early just because I'm an entrepreneur, so I run a full-time online fitness training business. It's called bodyhdfitness.com, and I write out customized meal plans, workout plans. There's accountability and support, plus a private Facebook group and private classes that I teach to all my students, and I train people all around the world. So for me, waking up very early, there's a book that I read. I forgot the author's name, but it's called Deep Work. And with that book, it talks about how you can accomplish a lot of tasks during times of hours of isolation. So at 3 a.m., like you said, there's people going to sleep or people still asleep. So when that's the case, that means the world is asleep. So there's no distraction. Since I'm online and I get majority of my clients online, especially through social media like Facebook and Instagram majorly, this is the time where I can write those programs, write my emails, write content for social media. I can schedule my day. I could get a lot of tasks done in such a short period of time before I actually start my day, and then start handling phone calls, because all day I'm on the phone. Well, mostly on Zoom, so video chat calls with clients, with prospects, people who's interested in training. So I'm doing tons of assessments, tons of consultations, tons of check-ins all throughout the day. And then if I'm doing that, I can't there's no way I can mix the two together. Like your right programs and then talk to clients in between. Like you drive yourself insane. Yeah. So it's the best way to get more productivity out of your job.
Oh yeah, is it difficult to wake up at 3 or 4 a.m.? Like your alarm clock ding 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 and then
well, for me there's no alarm clock.
Really?
I just wake up. I mean, I was in the military for about 8 years, so and also from childhood I always woke up early. I used to wake up like 6 o'clock in the morning, and then once I started doing this more full time, I started waking up 2 hours earlier, and it wasn't even something where I had to train my body. Like I could just tell myself, you know, I want to wake up at 2, I'll wake up at 2. If I say 3, I'll wake up at 3. If I don't think about it, then usually my body will wake up on its own like 3 or 4, you know. So it's not for some people can do that. There's people out there just like me who can do that. They can just say, I want to wake up at this particular time. Their body
Can you say I want to wake up at 3:25 and it's okay?
It'd be pretty close, yeah. I mean, a lot of people can do that because people have something called like a internal rhythm clock or something like that. You know, people who's listening who's familiar with what I'm talking about, they know is the exact terminology. But
if somebody knows, write in the comments, please, everybody will know that.
But you know, but you can train yourself to do that, and that's just using an alarm clock. But it has to be consistent. So me waking up early, you know, during those hours is very consistent.
For how long you have been doing that?
Probably a long time. I think 3 o'clock in the morning since how long I've been doing this one? About like 3 years since I've been doing this full time. So 3 years, yeah.
Okay, that's cool. I tried to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning for 1 month. It was hard. For me, it was hard. I woke up, I drink some tea. It took me like half an hour to 45 minutes to just get a little bit, you know, straight, and then I go out to do some jogging, some exercise. Because if I just wake up like that, took my tea and go to work on computer or something, you will find me like that. I need to get somehow something active in my body just to get. For me, it was tough. I tried that. There was things I liked. There was things I was still like not sure. So okay, that's cool. That's cool to know. And what do you think now, like, about this situation? Because say you are still working a lot from home. So does this coronavirus situation actually, because we are making this video on this situation, and did it change your routines? Did it change your lifestyle? Did it change your customers base or like anything?
No, not really. Nothing for me.
So are you familiar with what's happening in the world?
I'm pretty aware of it. Yeah, I'm pretty aware. But like the thing is, for me, it has nothing changed just because I work from home. So, and people who works from home probably knows exactly what I'm talking about.
I was joking, you know, with my wife, that, not about you, but I was joking about the people who are gamers, real gamers who sit in. So probably they won't notice this. Maybe a little slow down in food delivery, but that's it.
Yeah, probably in food delivery, but definitely they probably have a lot more people they could go against. You know, it's probably more active now. Because I think the video game community definitely boosted. I know video games, a lot of people bought video games because of this crisis. But
did you get more customers?
Yeah. I mean, I got more customers doing this and stuff like that. But you know, when it comes to my particular routine, then no, nothing really changed. I think the only thing that changed is, you know, now I'm doing food delivery. I should go grocery shopping. And now I do more food delivery now. Just get my groceries delivered over to me, but actually it's kind of better. You know, I do spend a small price, but you know, when it comes to the productivity and the job, I mean, I could put more of that free time into the job. So like sacrificing like, you know, $5, you know, like to make more money throughout the day, talking business wise. Yeah, I mean, it's worth the payment. You know what I'm saying? It's more just productivity. That's how I look at it. It's not like a luxury. It's more, I can be more productive.
Yeah, definitely.
So
that's what I always say to people, because when people say, oh, for me it's going to the shop, it's like, you know, like an entertainment. Of course, now when this pandemic happened, for many people, and for me,
well, it depends.
Definitely, it's kind
it
of.
It depends on the individual. Like you know, people who work at home is if we're, and especially if you're an entrepreneur, if you need the time to do that, then to get more, like to make more money and be more productive at your job, then yeah, it makes sense to do it. But if you could be an entrepreneur but you have a lot of free time on your hands, then probably it's not the best thing to do. Maybe it's worth going. So that's why I like saying that. It's not like I could see how some people could see it as a luxury, because maybe for them it's the free time that they have, they're not using it for productivity. They're using it more for recreation, which is fine if they have like a 9-to-5 job, or you know, or just don't have a lot of time, or you have a lot of time on your hands. So like that's how I look at those things. Yeah. So
okay. So and a question about this pandemic as well. What do you think? Is this as they say, or you think it's more like craziness going in the world, and actually it's not so scary as everybody is telling around?
I mean, I'm pretty on the fence with it. It's like a gray area for me. How I look at it is, you know, people do need to take some type of, you know, precautionary measures towards it. It's not something that, you know, it's just a hoax and you should just like whatever. But I do think like there should be some type of actions. Now, being in the United States, I feel that we could have been we could have done this a lot faster if we could, and versus like, you know, slowly getting to it, because this is what creates that type of mindset, that what the same question you're asking me, and create these type of thoughts. And if they just like shut it down, if they knew like the shit was happening and they took it very seriously and just say like shut down everything early, then we'll be in a better place now. But because of the steps that we did and how everyone is still, you know, everyone's on their own program in the United States, you know, it's very conflicting to say. You know, for me, like personally, that's why I just work at home. I do my thing. You know, wash my hands, I clean my shit, you know, like whenever we can go back to normal, we go back to normal. Like for me, it's not a big deal, just because, you know, I'm still working. I'm grateful that I still got a job, you know, so I'm looking at things more of a positive perspective versus like the problems, because that's thinking about the answer for the question you asked isn't getting me anywhere, and it's not getting no one anywhere. So it's like, versus thinking like that, just think about like some of the positive things about it. Some people who lost their jobs are reconnecting with their families. People like myself, I mean, at least I got a job, so, you know, like I'm grateful. Yeah, so, you know, with the whole situation, shit happens. Things could be worse. Like for me, it's hard to answer these questions just because I've been in the military and I've seen countries where the whole government and the country is upside down. You know, so like I said, shit could be worse, man. Like, you know, it's not a big deal. You know, we everyone tried their best to do what they need to do, and here we are.
I see that you are a lot into entrepreneurship and all these things. So probably you read a lot of books on that, or on different topics on positive thinking. On I mean, this is a whole bunch of literature. My question would be, what would be 3 books that you would advise everybody to read? Do you have like
business?
I mean, not just business, like how to, maybe business, maybe how to become better, like, because now this situation is like, like you said, for you nothing much changed, but for a lot of people it really got a lot of changes, and some people lost jobs, some people lost their routine or some other things, and how to come up much better from this situation when you just got into it, or not you, but like when it happened. So books really helps. And well, what would you recommend to read?
One book would be Contagious. I would definitely read that, by Jonah Berger. Okay. I would definitely read that one. Then also Magic by Rhonda Byrne.
Okay, what's that about?
So Well, I meant The Secret. So The Secret is about, how can I put this? It's more in a way where bring whatever your thoughts are into reality.
Oh,
like
okay.
bringing your
I know
your
The Secret.
dreams.
I know The Secret.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. But she has different books like The Power, The Magic. There's different ones. So I definitely recommend like read all of them because they're all great, you know. But and then also The Four Agreements by Miguel Ruiz.
Oh, I read this 5 years ago. Yeah,
so that's a good book too. So I think those are some books that's positive. They really talk about lifestyle, positive thinking, and making yourself become a better version. So if you want to, you know, a very fast synopsis on it.
Okay, and I'll put links to Amazon or some other platform in the description, so if you want to check those books, check it. Alright, a couple more questions, and that's how I get to know a person more. Like, what's your favorite movie and why?
Probably one of my favorite movies is probably like the Star Wars series, I guess. I think that's because I'm watching it right now, so I guess I'll just say that. And just because I like futuristic stuff, it kind of shows how, you know, the world could possibly be like billions of years or even maybe thousands of years in the future. But, you know, I like it because it's, you know, it talks about like political warfare and war, and it's more from a galactic scale. Because we have the same issues here just on our planet, but this takes it to like a more galactic scale. So I don't know, it's interesting. I like it.
Do you have any heroes? Like, you know, people you admire, people you wanna become like in one or another way, because usually we admire some person because of some of his traits, not the whole. Or what were your heroes when you were growing up? Did you have any superhero you want to be? You know, like Batman, Superman, there were a bunch of them. Or like, we are the same age, so we grew up watching probably the same movies, because my generation, like as I say, our generation is grew up on Arnold Schwarzenegger, Rambo, Stallone, and all those actors, and they are really my heroes. Like, actually, I have this dream one day to make a training and to eat some food maybe and to have a chat with Arnold Schwarzenegger and
cool.
Sylvester Stallone. So what were your heroes when you were growing up? Or
some of my heroes is like real characters, like Martin Luther King, you know, civil rights leader for like tons of African Americans, especially during the whole you know, racist thing in America. So someone like him, because he came out and stepped out and spoke what he truly believed that was right, and it was a civil change. And when it comes to veganism is a civil change. It's a movement, and that's why it's
not a diet. Sometimes people think that veganism is a diet. It's like just a small part of it. It's diet.
Well, I mean, you could be on a plant-based diet, and that's like more for your health or whatever. But when you use the terminology veganism or vegan, you're doing it because you believe in the ethics of other animals, of other living beings. And when you speak up to it, a lot of people get offended because they don't feel that, you know, it's unnecessary or it's too extreme. But when you start looking into it, you start seeing that the activists aren't extreme. It's the practice of what they do upon the animals are extreme. You know, so when it comes to activism, you know, Martin Luther King is like one of the dudes I like. Malcolm X, you know, great civil rights leader. Harriet Tubman, you know, like people who've done real things in the world. Like, yeah, I have like my favorite fictional characters like Iron Man, Batman, but like these are make-believe, it's pretend. Like Rambo's pretend, Arnold pretend, you know, especially the movies is pretend, you know. Bodybuilding's cool, but like,
no, I admire Arnold because of his personality, not the character. True.
But like, you know, that's who I look up to. A lot of civil rights leaders, people who stood up and went against the grain, because they were by themselves, and they just kept they stood up to reasons that they knew that was right, and they didn't care what other people's their thoughts was until they believe in what they said, and they knew that it was them against the world. So those are people I look up to because they actually made actual changes into the world, and they actually mold America and the whole planet. So that's what I look up
what
to.
there would be 3 people you would like to sit and have a dinner? I mean, dead or alive doesn't matter, but what would be those 3 people with whom you would like to have a dinner or chat or like a tea, like just?
I guess the people I just said, Martin Luther King, Harriet Tubman, Malcolm X. I would have a talk with them.
All right, cool. That's
Yeah.
cool. And the last question to finish everything up. It really was a pleasure to spend a day with you and to have your advices on trainings, on workouts, and definitely your food was very good.
I'm glad you liked it.
And my question is, what's your goals? What's your dreams? Actually, not just goals. What's your dreams, if you can share it, if it's not a secret? Like, what's your big dream, actually? What would you want to become, be, live, do in 10 years? 10, 15 years?
Well, in 10, 15 years,
what's a big dream?
In 10, 15 years, I would like, my company to be like a full functioning operation, because I want to really help people and change the world when it comes to, being on a plant-based diet or being vegan. And then also I would like to, take a lot of that money and put it back into like humanitarian aid and into a lot of animal sanctuaries, because the thing is that I look at certain situations like, okay, like we have a lot of animals that we want to save, but we need to, what we're going to do when these animals are already saved, like we're not consuming them. These farms, these animal sanctuaries, they're doing it, they don't get that big a pay. They're doing it from the gracious of their heart to take care of these farm animals. So these farms need tons of money so they could upkeep and have these farms open so the animals can enjoy a life and get more land and get better food. And then these organizations can throw better programs and to reteach kids of these animals, where it's more of an education versus like entrapment and slavery and all that good stuff. Yeah, so like that's what I see, and that's what I hope to achieve.
Okay, Korin, so thank you very much.
Know that, man.
And I hope this is not the last our training together.
All right, cool.
Thank you guys for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you had fun. I hope you had some ideas, and I hope you will be looking at your plate much more careful. And thank you, Korin, once more for being my guest in this vlog. Comment how you liked it. Comment which part is most interesting for you: workout, food, or our podcast. And love you very much, and see you in next videos.